The yearly Thompson family gathering was in full flow at my parents' upscale country club. My sister, Rebecca, commanded attention, regaling everyone with tales of her recent promotion at Goldman Sachs, as our parents glowed with admiration. I sat in silence, poking at my salad, bracing for the moment the spotlight would inevitably shift to me. "And Sarah," my mother's voice carried a familiar note of disapproval, "are you still messing around with that internet nonsense?" I hid a grin, thinking of the empire I'd quietly constructed while they assumed I was just dabbling online. Sterling Technologies, my company, had transformed the world of financial software, though my family still pictured me running some trivial lifestyle blog. "Still tinkering with my projects," I replied. Rebecca smirked over her champagne glass. "Projects? Is that what we're calling social media posts these days?" Dad set down his fork with a deliberate clink, his face settling into that parental mediation mode. "Sarah, your mother and I have been discussing things. You're 32 now, and this pastime of yours isn't going anywhere." My phone vibrated softly, a message from my CFO, Morgan Financial acquisition finalized. Company valuation now surpasses $500 million. Mom pressed on, undeterred. "We've decided it's time for some tough love. No more financial help. No more staying in the guest house. You need a proper career, like Rebecca." I glanced at my sister, her smugness practically radiating. If only they knew Sterling Technologies powered the trading algorithm her Goldman Sachs team relied on daily. "I understand," I said evenly, flipping open my laptop. "But before you go on, you might want to take a look at this." Dad's tone sharpened. "Sarah, this isn't the moment for your online antics." I angled the screen toward them, revealing Sterling Technologies' financial dashboard. "Actually, it's exactly the moment. That figure at the top? That's my company's current worth." Mom's wine glass halted midair. Rebecca leaned closer, her designer glasses sliding down her nose. That's impossible," she stammered. $500 million. $512 million, to be precise, I corrected. "It fluctuates hourly. The Morgan Financial deal just closed." Dad's face drained of color. "Morgan Financial? One of the biggest financial software firms in the country." I smiled. "It's now a subsidiary of Sterling Technologies. My company." "Your blog is worth $500 million?" Mom's voice climbed an octave. "Mom, it's not a blog," I clarified. "I run a financial tech firm that creates trading algorithms and banking software. That online nonsense you've been brushing off? It drives half of Wall Street's transactions." My phone buzzed again, another CFO message. Goldman Sachs requesting urgent meeting algorithm licensing. I glanced at Rebecca, wondering if she realized her department's success hinged on my tech. "Speaking of, Rebecca, how's that new trading platform your team rolled out last quarter?" Her smug expression dissolved into shock as the pieces clicked. "Sterling, that's you?" "Yes, that's me," I confirmed, pulling up more data. Sterling Technologies underpins the trading platforms of most major financial institutions, including Goldman Sachs. The country club's dining room seemed to shrink as my family grappled with the revelation. Mom's polished facade cracked. "But you live in our guest house," she whispered. "Actually," I smiled, "I own the penthouse at the Alexandria." I named the city's most exclusive residential tower. I kept the guest house to keep up appearances while I built my company. It was revealing to see how you treated me when you thought I was floundering. Rebecca was furiously scrolling her phone, likely researching Sterling Technologies. "This can't be right. You're saying you're our company's biggest software supplier." "Partner and soon majority shareholder," I corrected, watching her face pale. "That urgent meeting your team requested this morning? It's because we're acquiring a controlling stake in your division." Dad's financial advisor instincts kicked in. $500 million? How? When? "Remember Grandma's small inheritance 5 years ago?" I asked. "The one you all said I'd waste on my internet venture?" I turned that $100,000 into an empire while you dismissed me as a failure. My phone lit up again. Goldman Sachs stock dipping on acquisition rumors. Your stake now valued at $600 million. Mom's hand trembled as she reached for her wine. The charity gala last month, when you said you couldn't afford a ticket. I was the anonymous donor who funded the whole event, I finished, through my charitable foundation. I wanted to see if you'd invite me regardless. You didn't. Rebecca's smugness had vanished. Why didn't you tell us? Would you have believed me? I replied softly. For 5 years, every family dinner has been a lecture. Get a real job, Sarah. Stop wasting time online, Sarah. Be more like Rebecca, Sarah. I turned my laptop to display Sterling's org chart. While you mocked my online thing, I built a company with over 500 employees and offices in 12 countries. That algorithm your team uses, Rebecca? I coded the original version myself. But your clothes, Mom gestured at my understated outfit. Your car. Chosen deliberately to protect my privacy, I explained. Success doesn't need to be flaunted. Though, if you'd ever visited my tiny downtown apartment, you might have noticed it's the entire top floor of my company's headquarters. Silence enveloped our table, stark against the hum of the country club's dinner crowd. A waiter approached nervously. Miss Sterling, is everything satisfactory with your usual table? Dad's eyebrows shot up. Yes, Mr. Thompson, the waiter clarified. Your daughter holds a controlling interest in the club. We typically reserve her private dining room, but she requested the main room tonight. I waved him off, savoring my family's stunned expressions. I bought the club last year when it faced bankruptcy, I said. I kept it quiet since you all love boasting about your founding membership. All this time, Mom murmured, while we worried you were wasting your life. You were too busy judging to see what I was building, I said, pulling up more files. Want to see what else you've overlooked? The tech incubator I founded? The venture capital fund? The real estate portfolio? Rebecca spoke up. The Goldman acquisition. You're really buying my division? Already bought it, I corrected, showing the confirmation. The announcement goes out tomorrow. Congrats, by the way, you now work for your little sister. Dad tried again. Sarah, honey, maybe we could discuss investment opportunities. I have clients who... Stop, I cut him off. 5 years ago, you said no serious investor would touch my internet scheme. Now you want opportunities. Mom reached out. Sweetheart, we were just concerned about you living in the guest house, driving that old car. That old car is a vintage Porsche worth more than your house, I interrupted. The guest house was my choice, a test to see how you'd treat someone you thought was struggling. I displayed my personal net worth, separate from the company's valuation. Rebecca choked on her wine. That's more than our entire family fortune, she gasped. Many times more, I confirmed. Which makes this cutting me off talk a bit ironic, don't you think? My real phone, not the basic one they knew, flashed with an urgent message from my team. I put it on speaker deliberately. Miss Sterling, Goldman Sachs is requesting an emergency board meeting. Their CEO wants to discuss acquisition terms personally. Schedule it for tomorrow, I replied, watching Rebecca realize the extent of my reach. I'm in the middle of an illuminating family dinner. Also, the voice continued, the Alexandria penthouse renovations are done. Shall we arrange the housewarming? Perfect timing, I smiled. Send cars for my family tomorrow evening. It's time they saw how their struggling daughter really lives. I turned to my stunned relatives. About cutting me off. For 5 years, you've made assumptions about me. You saw the disappointing daughter who couldn't land a real job. Meanwhile, I built something extraordinary. I stood, smoothing my simple dress. Tomorrow, you're invited to my real home, not the guest house, but my penthouse. It's time you saw the truth. But Sunday dinner, Mom began. We'll be at my place from now on, I finished. Though the view might feel a bit different. Rebecca stared at her phone, likely watching her company's stock react to the acquisition news. You're really my boss now? Technically, I'm your boss's boss's boss, I clarified. But don't worry, I won't fire you. In fact, I'm promoting you to head of client relations. You're good at that. The technical side? That's where you've been struggling. How did you know? She asked. Because I designed your system, I reminded her. I get analytics on every user, including my sister. Dad cleared his throat. About the guest house. Keep it, I smiled. Let it remind you how appearances can deceive. Though you might want to check who owns your mortgage. Their faces registered horror as they realized my reach. The country club membership, Mom said suddenly. Our house. Rebecca's condo. All under Sterling Properties, I confirmed. My real estate division's been busy locally. Ever wonder why your refinancing went through so easily last year? As I prepared to leave, I turned back. Oh, and Mom, about cutting me off from family support? I think I'll manage. Though you might want to consider who's been quietly supporting whom. The next evening, as my family entered my 10,000-square-foot penthouse with its sweeping city views, their faces betrayed the full weight of what they'd missed. The multimillion-dollar art collection, the technology that dwarfed their smart homes, the staff managing my life. This is how you really live, Mom whispered, eyeing the private helicopter pad through the floor-to-ceiling windows. This is how I've lived for 3 years, I corrected. While you worried about my future, I was building it. The guest house was a social experiment. It showed me exactly who you were when you thought I had nothing. Rebecca wandered to my home office, where screens displayed real-time global market data. Are these all your companies? Just the public ones, I said. The private portfolio's much larger. Dad stood before a wall of awards and press clippings I'd kept hidden until now. Tech Company of the Year. 40 under 40. Most influential women in finance. I had them hung yesterday, I admitted. They're usually in storage. Real success doesn't need to be flaunted. As my staff served dinner on the private terrace, the city sparkling below, my family struggled to reconcile their old image of me with reality. The foundation that funded Rebecca's hospital wing last year, Mom said suddenly. That was you, wasn't it? Anonymous donations stay anonymous if you don't brag, I replied. But yes, that was me. Just like the scholarship fund at Dad's alma mater and the cancer research center named for Mom's maiden name. Rebecca shook her head. All this time, we thought we were the successful ones. Success isn't about looking successful, I told them. It's about building something meaningful while others are busy showing off. As they left, humbled, Dad turned back. We were wrong about you all these years. Yes, you were, I agreed. But now you have a choice. You can be the family who tried to cut off their secretly successful daughter, or you can be the family who learns to see beyond appearances. Because sometimes, the best revenge isn't showing people what they missed, it's showing them what they could still be part of, if they choose to see clearly.